It's been 50 years since Jimi Hendrix passed away, and we have a few special guests who talk about their experiences with the guitar great. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music. Jimi Hendrix would have been 78 in November if he was still alive. We lost him in 1970. It's been exactly 50 years today that we lost one of the greatest guitarists of all time. We have a few special guests who will give you their experiences, whether they met him, did I just say experiences, or worked with him. Some have, and some were just heavily inspired. Jimi Hendrix, 50. We look back with some friends.
One time when we got off stage at Fillmore East, Terry and I walked ahead of the band for the very first time in life. He never walked in front of the band. But we were going back to the dressing room. He walked in front of me. He opens the dressing room door for me, which never happened prior to that. As I'm thinking, I turn the corner and I enter into the dressing room. Here's Jimi Hendrix standing there with his hat on and his grin on his face, you know. I went, oh my, you know what I said, dude? You're a great guitar player. Can you think of anything? I mean, that's all I could come up with. But I was starstruck, and he just, he had a little giggle and then give me a hug, you know, and my wet-ass body, because I just come off stage. But, and from that point on, we were good friends. We got to know each other at several other gigs, and the last time that we were together, personally together, was Randall's Island. That was a bad trip to Randall's Island for both of us, but maybe that's a story for another time.
Jimi Hendrix, you know, he's kind of got this Fender in his hand, and he's lighting it on fire. Tell me about that.
Leo was not happy. That was one of his children, and somebody is smashing it and burning it, and he was not a happy man.
I was driving my parents' station wagon downtown Naperville, where I lived. It's a suburb of Chicago. And Purple Haze came on the radio. And it's just the same radio, right, that in those old, it's a Chevy, you know, it's just a standard radio. It sounded like it was going to blow up, like the radio was going to explode, because it was Jimi Hendrix playing guitar. I'll never forget that. I can see that in my mind. I was driving down the main street, Washington Street in Naperville, listening. I was lucky I didn't have a car accident, because it was just, you know what that record sounds like. It's just nuts.
And I know that you were obviously a big Jimi Hendrix fan. Did you ever have a moment in time?
Yeah, I totally remember it. I was in my room, and my dad came in and said, here, come, you gotta watch this. There's a guy playing the guitar with his teeth. You know, that was 1966. Jimmy was on a German TV channel playing Purple Haze. And I thought, okay, you know, at first I didn't really get it. But very soon after that, I got to see him live, and then I got it. That was in the beginning of 1969. Also, I was, you know, in the beginning, maybe I was a little too young, you know. And then, but once I was 14, I started to really get Jimi Hendrix big time.
When Hendrix showed up in London, he just blew everybody away. And he took us all back to the woodshed. Huge, can't say enough about Hendrix. I was with Mitch Mitchell on the day he auditioned for Hendrix. So very, you know, just hugely impacting as a guitar player. Learned so much from Hendrix.
Caleb, when it comes to Hendrix, you get debate from either guitar players or armchair players who say, well, yeah, he wasn't that good, but he was, wasn't he? He was that good.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. Oh my goodness me. He changed everything. He changed the approach to the electric guitar. He completely changed it, you know. If it wasn't for Hendrix, Jeff Beck would not be playing the way he plays today. None of us would be. You know, he changed it all. Prior to that, we were all just tickling one string. You know, I mean, it's just, and in terms of sound, I mean, I can honestly tell you now with all the technology, all the you know, guys like Joe Satriani and all the kind of dive bombing, you know, Van Halen and all that kind of thing, all the wow, all that you get out of a guitar, and all of that whole paradigm of sound goes back to Hendrix. He's the one that did that. He's the one that opened that door. It wasn't happening like that before him.
Also, a lot of people aren't aware that Jimi Hendrix, towards the end of his career, was actually moving towards jazz. That's what he wanted to play. And he'd actually recorded tracks with Miles Davis and a number of other musicians. I've been told, and I don't know whether it's true or not, I've never had it verified, but I've been told, and I heard some tracks with Miles, but that Marshall Chess, who got a hold of all the recordings and stuff for a period of time before the estate took them back, had erased the tracks with Miles, just kept Jimmy's vocals and guitar, and then added other musicians to it and released the album. Which, if it was done, to me, would be like defacing the Mona Lisa.
Wow. No, I've never heard that, but I did hear he was getting into jazz.
He was a great guy. I mean, there's no other way to tell it. I mean, I was with him in a cab going down to Electric Ladyland, and we stopped in front of, I think it was called Lowe's State Theater at the time, and it was what I call the spasm band, meaning a washtub bass and acoustic guitar and a bunch of overturned trash cans and stuff to be played like drums and so forth. And Hendrix stopped the cab, got out, listened to him for a while, got another cab stop, asked them to all get in the back of the cab, took him down to Electric Ladyland and jammed with him to about 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that's the type he was. He really enjoyed jamming. He really enjoyed people.
Yeah.
Very quiet, very shy.
Yeah, very shy and very modest. I find it hard to believe that a man like him was modest, and that's amazing.
I don't think he ever realized how great he was or understood why people thought he was so great, other than maybe the fact that he played what he called a screwed up guitar, using a little bit different language, because of the fact he was playing it upside down, because he was left-handed. Other than that, I don't think he really saw what he was or what he was capable of doing.
Were you surprised when he died?
I am only surprised by the fact that so many people still think he died of an overdose, that it was self-taken, and it wasn't the case at all. From what I understood was that he was always taking, and when I talked to him at Ronnie Scott's, he was jamming with Charlie Mingus, and he had said that he was off all drugs. The strongest drug he was taking was caffeine and coffee and tea. But that every night before he went to bed, because he got so jammed up or was so excited about playing music again, because he said he lost the love of music because he was forced to feel like a puppet on a string, telling him what to play, set the guitar on fire, do this, do that. He tried to go into jazz. They kept on saying, no, that's not commercially saleable, just like the band of Gypsies. They didn't like what he was doing. And he basically said he was thinking about quitting the industry, going back to the States, relaxing, living on the money he had, and going out and jamming again and trying to get back the feel of music which he felt he'd lost. He said the joy of music had been taken away from him.
So what did he die of? How did he die?
Well, he was taking the sleeping pills, and he ran out, and his girlfriend from Germany, from what I understand, had sleeping pills, but they were 5 times the strength. And he normally swallowed 3-4 pills. He took 3-4 pills of hers, which was technically 15 times, if you know what I'm saying, because his strength was so much stronger. And he basically vomited in his sleep, and he basically suffocated.
Some of these interviews go back quite a few years for us, but we're in the process of basically getting all our interviews in one place. We have so many interviews that we don't really have them in exactly one hard drive. That's something we're doing now. We just bought a NAS drive, if you know what that is. It's a network storage drive. And we're finally going to start doing series of videos where like 25 people talk about the same subject. Anyway, we miss you, Jimi Hendrix. Thanks to all our special guests. And thanks to the folks who have been buying our t-shirts. We appreciate that. It helps support this channel. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. It's Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.